दोहे पाठ प्रवेश. This is the introduction of the lesson. इस पाठ में रहीम के नीति परक दोहे शामिल हैं. This lesson includes those couplets of Rahim ji which are known as नीति परक दोहे. दूसरे शब्दों में मानव समुदाय को सार्थक और मूल्यवान संदेश देने वाले दोहे. Now what do you mean by these नीति परक दोहे? They mean those couplets which give meaningful and very valuable messages to the human community. Now children, here Manav Samudaya means human community, Sarthak means meaningful, and Mulyavan means very valuable. एक तरफ ये दोहे पाठकों को शिक्षित करते हैं कि दूसरों के साथ कैसा व्यवहार करना चाहिए. On one hand, these couplets, they educate the readers as to how they should behave with others, और दूसरी तरफ वे हमें स्वीकार्य और अस्वीकार्य व्यवहार की सलाह देते हैं. They also advise us on what are acceptable and unacceptable behavior in the society. यानी हमें क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. That is, in other words, what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. इन्हें एक बार पढ़ लेने के बाद भूल पाना संभव नहीं है. It is not possible to forget them once we read them. और उन स्थितियों का सामना होते ही इनका याद आना लाजमी है जिनका इनमें चित्रण है. And we are reminded of them whenever we face situations in our lives that have been depicted in them. So all these dohas or couplets, children, are related to our daily life. When you go through them, you really feel, oh, this situation we do face in our daily life. Now, children, every slide that I explain, the English version of that is given in the next slide. So you can go through them. I'm not explaining this. We are going to talk about the dohas now. There are 11 dohas in this lesson. In English, it's known as couplets, children. And by couplets, we mean a pair of successive lines of verse. They are typically rhyming and almost of the same length. Here, it's written by Rahim ji. Let's start with the dohas. Children, I've given you the Hindi explanation here as well as the English explanation in the second slide. You all can go through it according to your requirement. रहीमन धागा प्रेम का मत तोड़ो चटकाए, टूटे से फिर ना मिले, मिले गांठ परी जाए. Here dhaga means thread, mat todo means don't break, chatkai means don't snap it or don't break it with a jolt. Toote se means once it's broken, gant means knot, pari jaye means you get a knot in the relationship. What Rahim ji says is that the bond of love or relationship is almost similar to a thread. Once a thread is broken, you cannot join it back, right? Even if you join it back, there'll be a knot in it. Relationships have this similar feature. Once you break a relationship with a jolt or suddenly snap it, then you can never come back together. And even if you come back together, this knot will always be there. In other words, Rahim ji wants to say that we should always treasure our relationships, children. We should see that just for a small reason, we should not just snap any relationships. रहीमन निज मन की बिथा, मन ही राखो गोए, सुनी अठी लहे लोग सब, बांटी न लहे कोई. Rahim ji says that the pains and the sorrows that we have, we should keep that in our own mind. Because when you discuss it with people, they really don't sympathize with you and they don't like to share your pains and sorrows. They just make fun of you. So it's better that we ourselves deal with our pains and sorrows. We should keep it as a secret in our mind. Nij man means your own mind. Ki bitha, bitha, children, here refers to sorrows or the pains. Man hi rakho goi. Children, goi means keep it as a secret in your own mind. Suni, if others listen to it. Athilehen, they make fun of it. They don't take it seriously. Banti na lehe koi means nobody likes to share. Ekai sadhe sab sadhe, sab sadhe sab jai. Rehiman mulahi sinchibo, fule fale aghai. Rahim ji says that at one time, we should only do one thing. We should concentrate on one goal at a time. If you concentrate on different works or if you concentrate on different goals at one time, then you will not achieve anything in life. And for example, he says that when you water a plant, what do? We concentrate on the roots of the plant and we water it enough to a sufficient point, and later on automatically it bears fruits and flowers. But here what have you done? You have just concentrated on the roots of the plant. Similarly, if we should concentrate on one goal and we should totally dedicatedly work towards it. What happens there? Lots of other things happen in the process. Eke sade, here he means to do one work at a time. Mulahi means here roots of the plant. Sinchibo means when you water or irrigate the plant. Aghai means to a satisfactory level. How much water the root needs, only that much you're giving and you're paying attention to the roots. I hope you understood, children. Isn't it very meaningful? Isn't it related to our, lives of each and every one of us? चित्रकूट में रमी रहे रहीमन अवध नरेश जा पर विपदा पड़त है सो आवत यह देश. Chitrakoot is a very dense forest and it's not possible for anyone to stay there. Awadh Naresh refers to Sri Ram, who was exiled for 14 years. Vipada means adversity or disaster. So Awadh means he comes or she comes, yeh desh, to this place, and this place refers to Chitrakoot forest. Rahim ji says that when the king Sri Ram, he was exiled from his country, he went and stayed in this dense forest of Chitrakoot, which normally nobody can stay. So he says whenever a person faces adversity in life, he comes to this place, and this place here refers to Chitrakoot. Now what he wants to convey through this doha is that whenever people, they face adversity or disasters in their life, they become, they become so strong that they feel they can face any difficult thing in order to overcome that adversity. दीर्घ दोहा अर्थ के आखिर थोरे आही ज्यों रहीम नट कुंडली सिमटी कूदी चढ़ी जाए. Here दीर्घ means very deep. Doha couplet, arth means meaningful. Akhar means words. Thode means fewer. Nat means he's a person who does all kinds of gymnastics, very skillful. He's capable of twisting and turning his body to any extent. Kundali means a coil. Simiti means he, shapes himself into a coil. Kudi chadi jahi, jumping and, climbing. Kudi means jumping and chadi means climbing. Now I'm going to explain this with the help of these lines, children. Please pay attention to them. रहीम जी का कहना है कि उनके दोहों में भले ही कम अक्षर या शब्द हैं, परंतु उनके अर्थ बड़े ही गहरे और बहुत कुछ कह देने में समर्थ हैं. Rahim ji says that even though his dohas, they contain very few words, but the meaning that they convey, it's very deep, and these words, they are capable of, conveying a lot of things. ठीक उसी प्रकार, and he gives an example here. He says, जैसे कोई नट अपने कर्तव्य के दौरान अपने बड़े शरीर को सिमटा कर कुंडली मार लेने के बाद छोटा लगने लगता है. Just like this person called Nut, which I have already explained, during his performance, he twists or he shapes himself into a coil and he is capable of jumping and climbing. कहने का तात्पर्य यह है, what the दोहा conveys is that किसी के आकार को देखकर उसकी प्रतिभा का अंदाजा नहीं लगाना चाहिए. Now when you look at this nut, he might be a big person, but the way he twists and turns his body, you feel his size is very small because he twists himself into coil and even jumps through any circle or any coil very easily. So what Rahimji means to say is that by looking at someone's size, we should never guess his capabilities. A big person, we'll think that he will not be able to get through that coil, right? But then he might be capable of doing that. So by looking at someone's size, we should never underestimate his capabilities. Pratibha means capabilities. Andaza nahi lagana chahiye. We should not guess his capabilities. धनी रहीम जल पंख को लघु जिय पियत अघाए उधरी बड़ाई कौन है जगत पियासो जाए. Dhani means dhanya or blessed. Jal, water. Pankh means sludge or muddy water. Laghu, tiny or small. Jiya, they live. Piyat means drinking. Aghai means to their satisfaction. Udadhi refers to sea. Badai means the large sea. Piyaso, thirst. Okay, now Rahim ji wants to convey the message that the water of the sludge, which is muddy and which is very little, it is blessed because drinking that, lots of tiny and small creatures, they live. Whereas sea water, it is very huge in size, but it is of no use because you cannot quench your thirst by drinking the sea water. So here Rahimji says, similarly, those people who are really big, who really have all the facilities or are very wealthy, their life, it is of no use if they do not use what God has given them to help the society or to help the people in need. नाद रीझी तन देत मृग नर धन देत समेत ते रहीम पशु से अधिक रीझे हो कछु न देत. Now children, nad means the sound of the music. Rijhi means by getting attracted, by feeling happy because of listening to the music. Tan, body. Mrig, deer. Pashu means animal. Rijhehu means after enjoying or after receiving something. Kachu na det means does not give anything. Now let me tell you the meaning of the doha. Rahim ji says that a deer, after listening to a beautiful music, it becomes so happy that it sacrifices its body. Or that, in other words, it gives its body to the person because of whom it has become very happy. Similarly, there are people, they get so happy, they get so involved with the person who has helped them that they give their money and whatever help they could to the person who has given them this happiness. But now there are people who just wish that they should keep on getting more and more, and they find it very difficult to give something in return to that person. They are worse than even animals, because if you look at the deer when it listens to a very beautiful music, it just goes and stands near that. That means it's almost sacrificing its body because it has become happy because of someone's music. Rahim ji says that the life of such people is worse than animals who keep on getting things from others, who enjoy the facilities that others provide them, but they do not give anything in return. In other words, if we get something from someone, it's our duty to see to it that we also give them something. It should be a norm of the society. It should be there basically in our habits. Hope children, you are understanding the dohas. बिगड़ी बात बने नहीं, लाख करो किन कोय, रहीमन फाटे दूध को मथे न माखन होय. Here, bigri baat means a matter that has got worsened. Bane nahi, it does not become okay. Lakh karo kinko means how much ever we try. Fate doodh ko means the milk which has turned sour. Mathe, when you churn it, na makhan hoy, it does not become. Makhan means butter. In this doha, Rahim ji wants to say that if a matter gets worsened, if we don't take care of matters in our life or issues in our life and it becomes worsened, later on, how much ever you try, it's very difficult, almost impossible to correct them, bring it back to its normal situation. And here he gives an example, just like the milk, if it turns sour, you cannot churn it and get butter out of it. It is spoiled and you cannot do anything about it. So we should handle all the matters with care. We should think a lot of times before we speak something on, serious issues. रहीमन देखी बड़ीन को लघु न दीजिए डारी जहां काम आवे सुई कहा करे तरवारी. Now children, I think the same doha you have learnt in your grade 7 or 6 Rahim ji's dohas also. Here, Badin means big people, Laghu means small or of the lower grades, Dari means ignore. Sui here means needle and Tarwari means sword. Rahimji says, by looking at big people, we should not ignore those of the lower grades from the society. Because wherever we need a needle to do some work, there you cannot use a sword. Wherever needle has to be used, you have to use needle. So there you can't say that I have a sword, a bigger thing, and I can use that. Similarly, we have to respect everyone, treat everyone equally. It should not happen that when we see someone, okay, he's from a very wealthy family, so at that time we should not ignore others who are from the lower grades of the society. I hope you understood, children. रहीमन निज संपत्ति बिन कौ न विपत्ति सहाय बिनु पानी ज्यों जलज को नहीं रवि सके बचाए. निज संपत्ति means your own money or your own wealth. Bin means without. Vipati means adversity or a difficult time in life. Sahai means help. Binu pani, without water. Jalaj means lotus. Ravi here means sun. Now, Rahimji says that when you face an adversity in your life or a bad time in your life, it's only your own money that can help you. Nobody else would like to share your problem with them or to sympathize with you when you face a very difficult time in your life. And here he gives an example. He says, if you take the lotus plant, in case the water of the pond dries up, even sun, it cannot do anything to save that lotus. Because lotus needs water to survive along with sunlight. So water dries up, sun can't do anything in that case. So it's very important that we always, have a backup, children. It's only your own backup which will come handy when there is a difficult time in your life. No one else is going to help you. Sometimes they might be helpless. Or sometimes, most of the time, people, they try to avoid situations where they have to really involve themselves. So we have to see that we save enough, we have enough backup in our life so that whenever there is an emergency, we don't have to depend on others. रहीमन पानी राखिए बिनु पानी सब सून पानी गए न उबरे मोती मानुष चून. Pani here refers to water, and in the context of human beings it refers to politeness or soberness. Binu pani, without water, soon impossible. Moti means pearl, manush means man, and chun means flour or atta or maida. It could refer even to that. इस दोहे में रहीम ने पानी का 3 अर्थों में प्रयोग किया है. In this doha, Rahim ji has used water in 3 different contexts. पानी का पहला अर्थ मनुष्य के लिए किया गया है जब इसका मतलब विनम्रता से है. The first context he has used is in case of human beings where it refers to being polite. रहीम कह रहे हैं कि मनुष्य में हमेशा विनम्रता होना चाहिए. He says that humans should always be sober or polite or simple. पानी का दूसरा अर्थ आभा, तेज या चमक से है जिसके बिना मोती का कोई मूल्य नहीं. Here, the second instant where he has used the word water is related to the shine of the pearl, and without that shine, a pearl has no value. पानी का तीसरा अर्थ जल से है जिसे आटे से जोड़कर दर्शाया गया है. Now, the third context in which he has used water is related to flour. Flour, if it has to be turned into dough, children, you know that it needs water. Without water, flour, it is, cannot be used for anything. It is useless. रहीम का कहना है कि जिस तरह आटे का अस्तित्व पानी के बिना नम्र नहीं हो सकता. Rahim ji says that just like the existence of flour, the uses of flour is only because of water. और मोती का मूल्य उसकी आभा के बिना नहीं हो सकता है. And the value of pearl cannot be there without its shine, which is achieved when the pearl, it is in water for ages, right? उसी तरह मनुष्य को भी अपने व्यवहार से हमेशा पानी रखना चाहिए जिसके बिना उसका जीवन जीना व्यर्थ हो जाता है. Similarly, a person should always have pani in his behavior. That is, he should always be simple, polite, or sober. Otherwise, his life becomes useless. Children, I hope you understood all the 11 couplets or the dohas. In case you have any doubts, do let me know. I'll definitely get back to you with the explanation. Now, children, one more thing. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share, because that is what keeps motivating me to go ahead.